Hi, I'm Steve Johann, and you're in the Lion Zone, where you'll learn to be a lion and not the prey in a world of hungry jackals and vicious wolves. For more about me, visit stevejohann.com, where you'll find links to all my media content. Welcome to That's the Way I See It. Today, it's called A Different Take on Palestine and Israel. In prepping for today's show, I asked myself, what is going on with Palestine and their ongoing seemingly backward way of life, while Israel seems to be prospering? So I decided to look into things on my own, and when I did, I discovered the following information, which, by the way, took me all of about 5 minutes. Up first is the following citation dated August 28th, 2019, from the UN Conference on Trade and Development's website. Quote, oil and natural gas resources in the occupied Palestinian territory could generate hundreds of billions of dollars for development. Geologists and resource economists have confirmed that the occupied Palestinian territory lies above sizable reserves or reservoirs of oil and natural gas wealth. In an area C of the West Bank and the Mediterranean coast off the Gaza Strip, according to the recent UN study. New studies of natural gas in the Levant Basin are in the range of 122 trillion cubic feet, which, while recoverable oil is estimated at 1.7 billion barrels, according to the study, entitled The Economic Cost of Occupation for the Palestinian People, the Unrealized Oil and Natural Gas Potential. This offers an opportunity to distribute and to share about US $524 billion among the different parties in the region and promote peace and cooperation among old belligerents, the study notes. Funds could finance social economic development in the occupied land as part of the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. There's that group again. So far, the Palestinian people have been prohibited from exploiting the oil and gas reserves in their own land and water to meet their energy needs and generate fiscal and export revenues. On the other hand, Israel has begun to exploit for its own benefit these resources, which may be considered shared resources, as the oil and natural gas exist in common pools. Quote, what could be a source of wealth and opportunities could prove disastrous if these common resources are exploited individually and exclusively, without due regard for international law and norms, the study warns. Israel exploitation of Palestinian natural resources imposes on the Palestinian people enormous costs that escalate as the occupation remains in effect, the study cautions. Now, let's turn our attention to a more recent article dated October 30th, 2023 from the Al Monitor. Israel's Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure said on Sunday that it has awarded 12 licenses to 6 companies, including BP and ENI, for natural gas exploration off the country's Mediterranean coast, as the war with Gaza-based Hamas entered its 4th week with no ceasefire in sight. The offshore tender is a 4th bidding round for natural gas exploration in Israel waters, whereby the ministry intends to boost competition as well as grow domestic supply and exports. Well, now maybe we are seeing the real reason Israel does what it does to Palestine. Hamas was invented by Israel, by the way, much like the many dictators the U.S. has installed all over the world in order to crush the people and exploit their natural resources. All world empires do this. We are not alone, and neither is Israel. It's called greed, and those who practice such things will not be allowed into heaven. By the way, while I'm on the topic of oil, it turns out that Ukraine has a massive natural gas reserves under its soil. It also contains some of the best soil for growing things in deep water ports. Let's not forget Venezuela, home to some of the world's largest oil reserves itself. Once a prosperous nation, now reduced to poverty. Not because of a tin pot dictator, but outside interests who have artificially suppressed its ability to ship its products to the world and prevent it from benefiting from its natural resources. War and coups aren't about bad leadership. It's about putting bad leadership in place so special interests can control production and exploit natural resources, including slave labor. I suggest you read War is a Racket by Smedley Butler and read Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Do your homework, and you'll discover what 90% of Americans have no clue about, including your local politicians and pastors. And that's the way I see it.